everybody, thanks for joining us for another Facebook Live here at Franklin Park Zoo today. And we're here with a really fun time planned with two of our ambassador animals, our two domestic ferrets that we have. So I have two of my coworkers here with me, Amanda and Haley, who are going to be walking Gotham and Joker around. So this one right here, our darker colored one's name is Gotham, and the lighter colored one right here is Joker. So these are two of our animal ambassadors, so they come out for regular programs. And we did just want to bring them out for a Zoo to You, so you folks could get a chance to see them. With all of the COVID concerns kind of flying around, we haven't been able to bring them out for as many programs. One of the really interesting things about ferrets is they're actually a little bit more susceptible to cold, flu, and COVID than some of our other animals are, so we always have to be really careful. We always wear masks and gloves when we're working with them, and these two actually do have their COVID vaccines, so they have that extra protection to help keep them safe while we're working with them. And now that the weather is finally warm enough, we are able to kind of bring them outside. So we have them in their harnesses right now, so they're gonna really just be taking a chance to sniff and explore all around. And you can see just how curious these two are, that they are ready to just run and go crazy. They are very curious animals, so they love to run around and explore. And they're animals that are very active in short little bursts. So they are kind of like they're in go mode, or they're in passed out sleepy time mode. So these guys actually do sleep 18 to 20 hours a day, which might be a little hard to believe as you're kind of looking at them run around and being all ready to go. You can see. As you're kind of looking at the video of them, how they're moving, you can see that nice long body that they have and the kind of pointed snout. So these are domestic ferrets, but they are domesticated from European polecats. And they were animals that are carnivores, so they were originally used as kind of rodent pest control out on ships. And they were really great at their jobs. They've kind of stuck around in communities. So I did mention they're carnivores. So they are really great at catching mice, lizards, birds, anything like that. They can move really quick, so they're really great. And that long body that they have is really great for getting down into narrow spaces. So if there was a little tunnel, they could dive right down and get down without any issue at all. And if you've been over to Franklin Park Zoo before, you've maybe seen our Prairie Dog Exhibit. One of the connections we do like to make with the ferrets is to talk about black-footed ferrets, which is one of our native species found out in the Great Plains in the U.S. And they actually are a really interesting story of they were actually once upon a time extinct in the wild just from habitat loss and overhunting. But conservationists were actually able to find a colony of just below 200 and were able to bring them into captivity and set up a breeding program. So through reintroduction efforts, they've been able to bring them back out into the wild. So they're still very small populations, but we once again have black-footed ferrets that we can find in the United States again. And I mentioned the prairie dogs. So black-footed ferrets, domestic ferrets will eat a little bit more variety, but black-footed ferrets eat almost entirely prairie dogs. That is their favorite meal, which is why you find a lot of overlap in the Great Plains where we find the prairie dogs. So if you've stopped by the exhibit, maybe you've seen the sign and gotten to see a little bit about black-footed ferrets. Jess, are we seeing any questions pop up with anybody?
Don't have any questions, but you can let our viewers know if you have any questions, you can type them into the chat.
Yeah, I did mention that they were really great at getting down into tunnels. They also do have, kind of hard to tell, sometimes when we bring them out, they really enjoy digging down into things. So I'll actually pick up Joker here so you can see he actually does have some really great nails right here. So he's a great little digger. They do sometimes really enjoy when we bring them out. They find a nice dirt pile and they will kind of go a little crazy, just like digging themselves a nice little hole. They also do really enjoy fallen leaves when we bring them out and about, so it looks like Gotham might be getting ready to dig a little bit. So, and you can see just how interested they are of how they're moving and reacting to all the sounds they hear, since it is such a beautiful day here in Boston. Oh, looks like he's gonna maybe start doing a little scratching and digging demonstration for us. Maybe it looks like he didn't quite find the right spot, so he'll continue kind of sniffing all around. In addition to being great at kind of burrowing down, they are very curious and they actually are very good at jumping and climbing. Joker is doing his best to demonstrate. So they tend to get into all kinds of mischief, which can make them a little tricky if you ever have them as pets. They do tend to get into everything. Sometimes they like to steal and hide little treasures that they find around the house, so that can make them a little bit tricky. And then they do spend most of that day sleeping, which can be a little tough if you're looking for a pet, for an animal that's going to spend most of the day and be most active at night. All right, if anybody has any questions, feel free to throw them out. And
there was one question. Someone said they'd never seen a white one before. Is it albino?
So he's actually not. That is a really great question, though. So he does have black eyes, so he does just kind of have that coloration. But they do come in a really big, wide range of colors. Gotham is kind of one of the more classic colorations you see with little bandit mask and the darker colors. But they're white, dark colors, cinnamons, reds. They are an animal that's been domesticated for potentially over 2,000 years. So we get a lot, like with our dogs at home, we get a lot of different color variations and patterns. All right, folks, I think we're gonna wrap it up for the day. Thank you so much for joining us today and getting to hang out a little bit with Gotham and Joker. Hope you all have a wonderful day.